I received an email from my cousin yesterday reminding us that this week is the 100th anniversary of my Italian grandmother receiving her immigration papers to come to the United States. My Italian grandmother grew up in a little village in northern Italy, and the memory is that they were at an Epiphany procession in their home village when the word came through that they were going to be able to immigrate to the United States. And so they packed up all their belongings. They went first to Genoa, where my grandmother saw electricity for the very first time in her life. And then they got on a boat and came to Ellis Island and became lifelong American residents, American citizens. And they were very proud always of that immigration story that is so typical in our country's history. And I was thinking that today because St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, who we celebrate, also was an immigrant between the United States and Italy, though she went in the opposite direction. She grew up in New York City, and she was a member of the wealthy socialite aristocracy in that time. She was born in 1774, right before the American Revolution. And her father was very wealthy, her father-in-law was very wealthy. But at a certain point, her husband got sick, and so they went to Italy, where there were some very good weather, and to try to get better. And while they were there, her husband died. And suddenly, Elizabeth Ann Seton was alone in life in Italy, in this foreign country. But she was taken in by an Italian family, a very kind Italian family there in northern Italy. And I don't think it was my grandmother's family, but we never know. She was taken in, and she was shown such kindness in her need at that time that she ended up being attracted to the Catholic faith of this Italian family. And when she came back to the United States, much to the chagrin and the scandal of that New York aristocratic class, she became a Catholic. And she lived the rest of her life as a religious sister. She founded the Daughters of Charity. She founded schools and orphanages and in Baltimore and Emmitsburg, Maryland, and she had this great, great heart for anyone in need, probably because she had the experience of being taken in when she was in need, and so she had that great heart for those who were in trouble, those who were poor, those who were sick, orphans, immigrants. We see today that Jesus has that same heart in the gospel today, that he has a great heart for the poor as well, and for the sick. In fact, everyone is coming to him who is poor and sick. And he has that heart primarily, completely, because he's God, and so his most sacred heart always has a love for those who are poor. But also in his humanity, Jesus had the experience, too, of being in trouble, of being in need, of needing a home to be taken into. Isn't that the Christmas story? He had to be born in a stable. He had to flee to Egypt. He had many experiences where he was in need, and I'm sure people took him in. And Jesus, too, had the experience of being an immigrant. We see today that he immigrates from Nazareth, his hometown, to Capernaum. Now, admittedly, that's not very far. It's only a few villages over in Galilee. But all these people come to him as well from all over. From Galilee, the Decapolis, Jerusalem, Judea, beyond the Jordan. This isn't just Israel. This is even beyond the borders of Israel. The Decapolis is up north, beyond the Jordan. That's over on the east. Even Gentiles are coming to hear Jesus, to be healed by him. Do we have that same heart for the poor, for the sick, for the immigrant, for those who are in trouble and in need? Do we have that same heart? My grandmother was so proud that she came here from Italy and became an American citizen, and today we remember the first American citizen to ever become a saint, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. Let's pray that we will have that same heart that she had for all those in need.